Layoffs, Weekend Gaming, the Xbox Fallout continues, another Halo game is canceled, and God of War Laufey might be coming in 2027. This is the Nerdy Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, how's it going, my man?
It's going pretty well, man. Good for a Thursday. You know, got a nice little mix. We got some negative in the beginning, but that's okay because you always start with the bad news and then we end on some good news. We actually talk about something with video games, not just the business of video games. It's a crazy concept, I know, but we here.
You would think that wasn't possible, but hey, we do talk about positive things on this show, everybody. Amy says, "What's up, what's up?" You remember doing that? What's up? I remember my. Do you know what like Southern Link or like the walkie-talkie phones back in like
Vaguely,
early? Yeah, like my family had those, and I remember I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Beep, beep. I don't know why, but you know, you're like 7 or 8, and you know, you get a little, you know.
Yeah, I'm about to say we all get stupid. It's okay.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
Joe says, "What's up? Sorry I missed the stream on Tuesday. It is all forgiven, my son. Your penance is done." Went to see Toy Story 5 with family who was visiting from Tennessee. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Braden, welcome to the stream. Guys, we got a great show for you. We got a lot of talking to do. We got a lot of discussing to do. Of course, we're going to be talking more about Xbox. More stuff has happened. More content has come out from all content. I guess news would be the better way of saying that than content. Good on Nextel. See, Michael knows what I'm talking about. Ours was Southern Link before it went to Nextel and everything. So yeah. Oh, those were the days. I'm like, you wouldn't. I hate talking on the phone.
I know.
Do you feel the same?
I don't mind talking on the phone. Depends on who it is. I mean, obviously, when I talk to my mother, it's always on the phone, you know, because different generations. But you know, a lot of if I'm talking to someone constantly, I'd rather it be over text than a call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm reading as well as like trying to like cognitively understand everything at the same time. Because that's how we do it here. Amy says that was an inaccurate impression of me. Emphasis on the dudes. What's up, my dudes? Let me know if that was better. Dudes. Now, Derek, we have a segment that we love to do every week. Well, I love to do because Derek doesn't play video games, guys. Everybody, shun Derek in the chat right now. Put shame. Put a little like bell icon. If you know,
definitely by September 15th, I will be playing a video game. And then again on October 6th.
I don't care if it's then. I'm talking about right now. Right now. Put your
That's
September
15th. We're talking on July 16th.
Yeah, exactly. Well, each and every week we talk about what you've been playing. We want to hear what you've been playing down in the comments below. Shun the non-gamer. Shun. Yeah, exactly. Shame. Put your shame down. Put it down there in the chat.
Shame.
Dude, I started watching, this is not gaming. I started watching the new season of House of Dragons. So good, dude. So good.
Yeah.
Do I remember what the crap is going on? Because it was like 2 years in between the last season and this one. Not really. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of remember who you are, but it's good.
That's why I always go back and rewatch the previous seasons of shows. So I remember the cast of characters leading up to the new season.
True. I just don't do that, Derek, and I should. I should do that, especially like on these bigger shows.
Yeah.
Braden says, I only have a PS5. I don't have an Xbox, so a lot of cool games on PS5. Yeah, there's a lot of good games on PS5. We are hardcore Sony ponies here. So Braden, you're in good hands.
Us?
You're in good hands.
No,
I mean,
never.
we're not
Definitely objective here.
we're not Sony ponies at all.
We're not ending the show. We're not ending the news segment with a Sony game. No, not at all.
What is this? What is this? I thought that was a totally different person. I thought that was Michael because there was like an M.
Right.
That was good. I'm gonna keep you on for a little while, Matthew. I'm gonna keep you on. I have the PS5 VR heads. Okay, so you got the PlayStation Virtual Reality 2.
The PSVR 2, as some would say.
As some would say.
Hey, look, it's outliving the Vita. Just saying.
It did come out way after the Vita, Derek.
I know, but everyone says the Vita lives. The VR,
the Vita does live, Derek.
But they stopped making games for the PSVR 2 way sooner than the Vita, and the PSVR 2 is still a thing. Just saying.
Well, I'm glad that the virtual reality 2 is still out there. Braden, what is your favorite game on there? So what I've been playing, Derek, can you take a guess? Can you take a guess on the games that I've been playing?
I know the three I can guess off the top of my head are Death Stranding 2, V Rising,
yep,
and Lego Batman.
Exactly. Yes, I know exactly where my Vita is. It is right there. And my PlayStation Portable is right there. PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Portable, and Game Boy Color. I mean, my PlayStation Portable's in the living room.
Well, you said portable, which is what the PSP
portable
is.
Yeah, true. Which a lot of people are getting PS Vitas and using them like as everyday carries and all of that kind of stuff right now, and modding them and all of that. And I'm like, do I do it? I've thought about it, but at the same time, it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? It's like, I do have the OLED one. I have the OLED one. That thing's beautiful. I will say that thing is beautiful. But yeah, been playing V Rising, dude. I'm over 100 hours in V Rising now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm on the last 4 people that I've got to fight. And it's like slowly trying to get me to where I need to be so I can fight Dracula. So yeah, Dracula. I'm working my way there. Dude, you're going to love Lego Batman whenever you get to it. It's so freaking good. So freaking good. They do like a whole,
how far along in Lego Batman are you?
I just beat the 4th chapter. I'm not sure how many chapters.
I know Lego games used to run really long, like 15, 16 chapters back in the day. Not sure how they do it now, but
yeah, let me see. 6 main chapters.
Okay.
There is a lot of side quest stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll say they beef it up. They make it chunky, boys. They ain't just 6 blow through chapters.
Yeah. So I like each one. Like I feel like it takes a while to get through, but it definitely feels chunky enough. And now I'm taking on. They've merged Batman. Oh God, what is it? Batman and Robin and Dark Knight Rises, because I have Bane and Mr. Freeze are like the 2 villains for chapter 5, which is very interesting. I beat Poison Ivy. She was in the chapter before that. But dude, I finally got Batman the Animated Series mobile, the Batmobile from that. And then I've got the costumes from it. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need anything else. Like, don't try
if the If the game went out of existence, you're like, I reached what I needed to. I'm good.
Exactly. And it's like they try to put me in different costumes. It's like, no, 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 no.
Mm.
We
There's
got
only
it.
one now.
There's only one now. So I'm enjoying it a ton. I'm enjoying it a ton. And
So when do you fight the Deathstroke fight again from Batman Arkham Origins? Just wondering.
I
Remember
don't
how
know, dude.
difficult that was?
I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't
Yeah.
that difficult for me. The Bane fight was the most difficult one for
Okay.
me. Deathstroke, I know was annoying for some people, but that Bane fight on the roof, that was the one. That was the one that crushed me, dude. Crushed me. Especially because I was playing on the highest difficulty because I played it 2 times through. Oh my
That's
god.
fair.
I don't know why. I did it for a YouTube series. All of it's privated now because it's really bad. It's so bad. But that was like one of my first, playthroughs or whatever. But yeah,
Right.
that fight broke me inside for sure.
Broke your back?
So,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
dude, I also have read Absolute Batman, the first arc of Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about it? Have you seen?
Not anything.
Freaking dude, it like Batman is crazy in this.
Oh dear, like
Crazy.
worse than Killing Joke Batman?
No, not like mentally crazy. He's just freaking huge.
Not killing joke. Batman Who Laughs.
No, not like that. Not like that. Let me look up. Absolute Batman is just a freaking juggernaut. Like he's a beefy boy. He's a big
Like
old.
if him and Bane did the fusion dance.
Yeah, essentially that.
Okay.
Let me llama. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is Absolute Batman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's freaking huge, my dude.
Batman been taking them roids.
Yeah, so he's huge. This is Absolute Joker. I haven't got to him yet. Bane, of course, looks huge.
Right.
So it's, but I'm digging it because Batman, it's kind of a different it's a different take. It's not like he grew up rich in this one. His dad was like a schools teacher and his mom like was a social worker. So
interesting. Okay.
Totally, yeah, it was totally different. But dude, read through the first arc and I'm like, dang, some good stuff.
So this is Batman if he was the Punisher.
Yeah, that
okay.
is,
all right.
That is probably the best way to. And Alfred's like we've had Secret Service Alfred, but like he works for like a shady organization and everything, and like he's like a hitman, and like he takes down like countries and all of that kind of stuff. Like he will literally like cause upheaval and all of that. So yeah, it's really good. And I'm just like, okay, I got Lego Batman going. It's giving me the juice, and then I got the venom going from reading the Absolute Batman. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. But y'all let us know how you doing down in the comments below. Joe says, I want to read the Absolute Ben 10 comics. I didn't know they had the Absolute Ben 10 comics.
Huh.
Is he roided out? Because if he's not,
maybe
they did it wrong. They did it wrong.
Right.
But we're going to do it right tonight, Derek. We got a lot to discuss here on the Nerd Cave tonight. We're going to try, guys, to hit that sweet spot of an hour and a half or less, because we gave y'all giant size episodes
for like 3 or 4 weeks straight.
Yeah. So if you want those big episodes, you know where to find them.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. And y'all should go check out Eat Sleep Anime, our other show that we do once every quarter. I don't think it's named like that, but it's the same style. Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, I want him roided out.
Right.
That's my superhero.
The sentiment still stands. If he's not, if everyone doesn't look like Bane, it's not being done right.
No, it's not being done right. Now it's time. Derek, are you ready? Are you ready to dive
Yes.
in? All right. It's time for the gaming discussion. Let's talk about the Xbox aftermath. id Software issues a statement following layoffs, addresses concern over the future, and this is by Wesley Yidpool at IGN.
So id Software has issued a statement following layoffs at Xbox that said roughly half the staff at the legendary first-person shooter studio lost their jobs. Quote, "Thank you all for your support this week. While our studio was impacted, those changes were spread across teams. We still have the crew. We need to build the games and tech we're known for. The team today is about the same size we were when making Doom 2016. We have always had a flat studio where everyone is a maker, and we will remain true to the philosophy moving forward. We are focused on supporting each other and the team members impacted. We're going to keep building the great games and tech that have defined us for the past 35 years, and we're looking forward to seeing you at QuakeCon this August." id and Xbox are also pushed back on the suggestion that there's essentially no one left at the company working on id Tech, the game engine it and fellow Bethesda-owned studio Machine Games uses to build their games, which also Machine Games is rumored to be working on Wolfenstein 3 at the moment. Xbox confirmed to IGN that, quote, "There are dozens of people working on id Tech across multiple locations, and that previous reports that there was only one person left in Texas are, quote, inaccurate." But that's not the only studio that we've got an update on, Zach.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about them together. So,
yeah, ZeniMax Online Studios insists it's now the same size it was when it made its much beloved DLCs, and this is also by Wesley Yinpool.
The Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online Studios has moved to reassure concerned fans that it is still committed to the game despite the impact of significant layoffs at Xbox. As revealed by IGN last week in an email to Bethesda staff sent following Asha Sharma's memo on Monday, the previous Monday, Bethesda boss Jill Braff said the layoffs and change in strategy, quote, "reflect the realities of our industry and business, and our responsibility to ensure Bethesda is operating from a more stable foundation. To be successful in the future, we need to change course," Braff continued. "We must strengthen our business, return to sustainable growth, and ensure we can continue investing in our franchises and our players. I know that doesn't make a day like today any easier." Without naming games, Braff added, quote, "To best position Bethesda for future growth, we are shifting from a planning model primarily centered on what's next for each independent studio to one that focuses on our strongest franchises and determining the content roadmap that best serves our players and Bethesda as a whole. From there, we'll align the right talent, technology, and resources across the organization to deliver on those priorities." According to Massively OP, the developers also have told fans that the team size is back to the level it was when Rothgar back in 2015 and Somerset 2018 DLCs, both warmly received, were made. Last week, a source familiar with the situation at the studio told IGN that ZeniMax Online Studios is supporting the new season model for ESO while also looking for ways to collaborate more closely with BGS to support the Elder Scrolls franchise as a whole. I took that to mean helping get the Elder Scrolls 6 out the door. So, both studios, as we talked about last week, affected by layoffs. ZeniMax, they did, because when we reported it, they didn't have an exact number. That number was at least 200 people got let go. And it's kind of almost a tale of two different sides of a coin, because while they both were affected by layoffs, id, saying that, oh, this is the same team that made 2016 Doom. Doom 2016 wasn't fantastic, but it was still a solid game and a return to form for what the shooter had been, like bringing that franchise back. So that is somewhat promising. And, Xbox, because, the whole big thing is like, just let me backtrack just for a minute. We know that, as much as we talked about how, bad the layoffs were, we understood why they had to, with the cents on the dollar, the 14 layers of management, as Zach, echoed, constantly throughout last week's show. But I think one of the points that I don't think we talked about really was, yeah, like, yes, downsizing the teams is like, and everyone's going like, well, yeah, this is the same size that these studios were at when they were at this point, but that was over 10 years ago. Gaming is like bigger budgeting, takes a longer to do. How are they going to stretch this and do all these projects? And it's like, well, there has to be a reset. And there's been, we've talked about in the gaming industry how maybe we don't need $200 million budgets because the ROI is in the toilet, for those games essentially. And those, and even successful launches is, even with Ubisoft Barcelona, they're protesting right now because they have layoffs, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced was successful at launch. And at launch, they were just like, all right, we're going to lay off some people. And they're like, no, we're tired of this. So just because you have bigger budget doesn't mean it's always better, especially on the other side. So if we make it smaller budgets and make it tighter, smaller experiences, because bigger budgets means bigger games, and that's, then investors have these sky high aspirations of, oh, well, the game needs to sell 500 million in revenue to be able to make it back just on day one. And then it's like, if it's a live service game, we need to continue to have a concurrent revenue to be able to make, hand over fist for the game. So the size of id right now, if they get back to 2016 Doom, can be smaller, tighter experiences, and that would be good, because again, while Doom 2016 wasn't, set the world on fire good, it was still a good, solid game. Now, ZeniMax, on the other hand, when they were the same size making those two DLCs, while, like, I don't remember Rothgar too much, but Somerset was a really accepted DLC when it came out. But I don't know if that's good, especially for like a studio that's working heavily on like an online game, and they also do Fallout 76 as well. Again, they might move to different projects, so it might be a whole different ball of wax. But I feel better about id, with the size they have, to still make good games, whereas ZeniMax, I'm not sure if they still have the capacity to make good smaller experiences.
Yeah, I feel like ZeniMax, being one, they're the parent company of, Bethesda Game Studios and everything. So them being smaller is very interesting, but they also make different projects than others.
Right.
I know that they came out and they're like, okay, we are going to go through this season of the content that we have planned and everything for ESO. But past that, we haven't really heard anything, and I think that they're just trying to get their feet under them. I think we see smaller expansions coming from them. And then this is me looking into the future. They see, okay, is Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, is the juice worth the squeeze? Are we getting return on this with people being in there, people buying mods, whatever it is, because they have paid mods and all of that? Are people using this on Game Pass? Like, there's going to be a lot of analytics that I feel like are going to be a big thing moving forward. How many hours are being played? And if it's not, then they're going to say, okay, more people are playing Elder Scrolls Online, less and less people, even though we've had this big success of the Fallout show, which we saw a big jump in the first season into Fallout 76. It's like, it's not really, we're not seeing that. We're seeing numbers going down. This is me just speculating, okay? This is not true for anyone that's listening. I'm just saying what ifs. So it's like, okay, well, let's reduce this. We're going to put this on just like on life support, 76, and then we're going to focus on Elder Scrolls because we see, money being there. Or, like it does say in this, that they become more of a support side of things to help get Elder Scrolls 6 out of the door, because we've already said a few weeks ago that it looks like it's going to be 2 more years before we even hear anything about Elder Scrolls. And their whole thing, for now. And the whole thing is they want to get out these big franchises quicker, faster, that sort of deal. And I bring back this point, just because you have a bunch of people doesn't mean the work goes faster, because Derek, you know as well as I do, you can hire a bunch of people, and it's like any kind of group project in college or high school. There's going to be people
Yep.
to do the work, and then there's going to be the people that need their hand held all the time and not going to
Yep.
do much. And
Or going to coast and let the other people work on it. And, you know, the old adage, too many cooks in the kitchen.
yeah,
So,
and it's like when you're dealing with this, and we talked about this in ad nauseum, it's harder when you're dealing with code and all of this, and it's like, I think going to that where it's like everybody is working the same kind of stuff, you know, everybody knows the engine or the code, the this, that, or the
yeah.
other, and it's like any breakthroughs, and this is how life actually works in the wild and everything. It's like when somebody wasn't able to run the mile in 4 minutes, and then somebody was able to do it, then multiple people were able to run the mile in under 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, okay, once we have a breakthrough here, we need to share it across the company. That way we're able to move faster in all of this. I do agree
Right.
with you. I think it is in a much better place than ZeniMax, just because it, I feel like, has always had a stronger group of developers. Um,
Correct.
like I've only played a little bit of ESO, but from the people that are into it and everything, they love it, but it's not something where it's like, oh, this is, you know, big day one drops, you know,
Yeah.
like that. It's
It's not
something
something
that,
that they're just clamoring for. Like, even though it's no longer being supported, even with Destiny, there were people like the hardcore fans were still excited for content drops that when they came out. ESO, it's like after probably after the summer set, I'm sure there was one that they were excited. Maybe it was like the Morrowind drop. Who knows? I don't know, but it seems like at a certain point after the content drops, people just stopped caring. Like even the hardcore fans just stopped caring about ESO updates.
yeah, yeah, I agree, because I think the Morrowind was the last one that was like, oh, okay, that actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, where do we draw the line here? I did want to bring in this quote.
Hmm.
This was interesting. This is a totally different article, but I thought it was interesting. This is from creative officer Tim Willits over at Saber Interactive, and he was talking to
Hmm.
Christopher Dring, and I'm gonna just read a little bit of this, and he's talking about like triple A budgets and like all of that, and how Saber's able to move
Okay.
faster. He said, we're very good at making sure that we scope our projects to focus on the fun and to focus on what really needs to happen. I play these other games and I can see the virtual dollars flying out of the screen, and and I can see how much money they spend on the dumbest stuff. And I'm like, oh God, that's expensive. We also have a culture that allows all of our employees to work on the titles where they're most needed. They're big development studios where teams get siloed. They're like, I'm Team A and I only work on this game. And you have these North American developers with 200 employees working on one title. That's not going to work because everyone knows you don't need all 200 people in the very beginning and at the very, I guess, end. So you need to work on other projects. You need to expand. That's one thing that we're very good at.
What a concept! First of
Yeah.
all, just spitballing. Just my 2 cents, but and that's why Saber is a very solid. I would say they're very good, like double A. I'm sure, like with the last couple games they put out, they may be like lower triple A, but they're definitely a very great double A studio. I
Hmm.
mean, and that's why they continue to get good projects and good games out. And again, just wanting to make sure it's fun. I'm like, what? Make sure gaming is fun, like a hobby that everyone wants to escape from the real world from is fun. How dare they? How dare they think that way?
Crazy thought, Derek, that this entertainment industry can have, fun, and, even if you're telling like gritty stories or something that hits
Yeah.
hard, you could still have good content, good games out there. And I think, that says a lot, because you look, Space Marine 2 and Expedition 33 came out around the same time, and
Yes.
both of them Like Space Marine 2 sold really well, but Expedition
Correct.
33 sold amazing, and it was only
Mm-hmm.
33 developers. So
Exactly.
I think the key here is you gotta lose a little bit of weight, because a lot of these developers on the Xbox side, they've been in a weight class that isn't for them, and they've gotten slow. So it's like, okay, unfortunately, people are losing their jobs, and I don't like to see that happen at all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we are not for that, but we have to see the industry right itself so it can stay healthy, and where we've been at has not been healthy.
No. And I mean, case in point, like they say in the article, pretty much mismanagement of resources is like, like you said, 200 people working on one game. It's like, you don't need all 200 people working. I mean, Square Enix, I think, does now. I don't know how many people they have working on a project at a time, but more of their JRPGs, you see this, right? Like, just take, for instance, oh, they're working on the next Final Fantasy. It's like, all right, they're done with that. Now they go over to the next Kingdom Hearts project to help finish that up as they're so it's like, all right, the music director, all right, your job is done. You're the first to wrap up what you need to do for Final Fantasy. Now go over and help Kingdom Hearts move along, And then it's like, all right, now the art directors, the VFX people, like all of them, they slowly migrate their resources. Like, all right, we don't need you to stay here till the game is out in people's hands. We need you to go work on the net and get that out. And that's why they're able to churn out projects, especially. And I think they probably realize that. That's why it took them. That's why after Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 took forever and 3 years to come out. They were like, maybe we need to do a little bit better to manage our games. And now you see they're pumping them out a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and the quality is there. I think that's,
Yes.
you look at how Capcom has went from
Yes.
Crapcom to what they're like, this renaissance of everybody's working on the same engine. They know their content schedule. They know what games are
Mm-hmm.
going to be going out. It's like, okay, we're putting out Resident Evil 9, and then we're going to have Veronica, and then we're going to have this, that, and the other. It's like it's like Pragmata's going out there. Everything's running on all cylinders, and that's because of good management. That isn't just because you own IP.
And to bring it back to like the original articles we read, that's why I feel a little bit better about id, because again, like they said in the article, it's not just the Texas-based studio that's working on id Tech. It's multiple studios in their house that is working on id Tech to help it make run better, to really polish the games to make sure they run at optimal efficiency as needed for what the engine can do. So that's why I feel like they have all hands on deck, and they have everyone pointed in the right vision. Whereas ESO is just like, and especially like ZeniMax being split, doing Fallout 2 like MMOs like going on simultaneously. It's like, not only do you have to do constant updates every couple of months to a year for those games, it's like, all right, you're also having to manage the servers and all this, and it's like you're stretching yourself thin. You shouldn't. They should have probably given one to another studio in house. You know what I mean? Whichever one that was. Don't care. But now,
Yeah.
and the ZeniMac one ends on, oh, they might just help get Elder Scrolls 6 out the door, and I'm like, man, that'd be terrible for ZeniMax to be resorted to a support studio. I mean, again, I'm sure behind closed doors, as even though they had these major franchises they wanted, they want to focus on, I'm sure behind closed doors, Asha was like, all right, we're gonna give you the help, but you need to get Elder Scrolls 6 out immediate as soon as possible.
Yeah, yeah, and we already have talked about this. Like Bethesda Game Studios, like they are awful at managing themselves
Yep.
and making sure that their product is good, and they take forever. And it's like, okay, let's see some major changes here.
It's ironic that the supports, well, I shouldn't say support studios, but like their branches, like Machine Games, when Tango Gameworks was still a part of them, id Software, it's like those are better managed than actual in-house like OG Bethesda that makes Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and like it's weird, so weird.
Obsidian.
Yeah,
able to put
I
out
wouldn't say
three.
last year, but I mean, they
Well,
put out, they
they
were
put
able to
out.
manage 3 games.
They were able to manage 3 games. Like, were they, top notch quality? I would say that they were probably
No.
better than Starfield, though. Like, I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
Avowed ran better, and like just the world was. It just like I
It
didn't
was more
like.
interesting to explore than Starfield.
Yeah, I didn't like Avowed, but it was more interesting, and the character models looked great. The combat was
Yeah.
cool. Like Starfield felt like a 360 game, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, Outer Worlds 2, that's a space. We want to make a direct comparison. That was a space game that I would say Outer Worlds 1 is better than Starfield.
Yeah, yeah. I loved Outer Worlds 1. Haven't checked out Outer Worlds 2. But let's talk about Obsidian since we're on them. Obsidian
Yeah.
director, Obsidian director fires back at the people, and this is by Michael Kripe at IGN.
Obsidian Entertainment director Brandon Adler is tired of seeing cold take artists who are, quote, running their mouths about how the studio has changed following recent Xbox layoffs. The developer responsible for directing The Outer Worlds 2, as well as a new unannounced project, made his feelings about the conversation surrounding Obsidian clear in a LinkedIn post via Eurogamer. Noting that it's been, quote, an extremely difficult week for the team, he spent time bidding farewell to those who were let go before addressing those who have been, quote, coming out of the woodwork to talk about what the studio is or was or what it isn't. Excuse me. Quote, another difficult aspect is having a bunch of cold take artists coming out of the woodworks to talk about what Obsidian is or what it isn't. The number of times I've seen people who, with no understanding of who has worked on our previous games or what they contributed, talk about how Obsidian isn't who they used to be is staggering. Most of the time they are not just wrong, but spreading an enormous amount of misinformation. Amid uncertainty across Xbox, Adler is fighting back against the misrepresenting the talent Obsidian has gathered over the years. He said that in many cases, the people in lead or director roles are the same people that worked on games like The Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, and Fallout New Vegas. Like literally the same people, the through line from KOTOR 2 to our current games is pretty clear. Is Obsidian the same as it was 20 years ago? No, of course not. Nothing stays the same. But the DNA at Obsidian is the same as it always was. The same DNA that created KOTOR, Fallout New Vegas, NWN2, and Stick of Truth. I'm
Neverwinter
extremely
Nights.
proud. Thank you. I'm extremely proud of our history, and I'm also excited for who we have become. Adler signed off after asking readers to remember that, quote, people spouting off about Obsidian running their mouths about who we are now versus what we were then are individuals who have, quote, zero insight into how a game is made and who contributed to our previous games. So I want to start off by, saying kudos, like I'm of the mindset that you don't give the what's the nice word to say it, the idiots oxygen to breathe. You just let them suffocate and you don't address it. At the same time, tensions were high. You just had to say goodbye to X amount of people, like 50 to 60 people, like 25% of your workforce at your studio. And then you got people coming, it's like, oh, they're not going to be the same, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he has a point. You don't know who got laid off. It wasn't like the lead artists, the lead directors, the lead game designers all got laid off. It was mostly people who were just like, yeah, on those teams. And yes, will it be probably the same overall experience in terms of like game length, character creation? Maybe not. Who knows? Only time will tell. But at the same time, he's right. Like the same DNA is there, and it's like let them. They just put out 3 games last year, and who knows when the next game they're going to put out is. Like I know they just said he's over the next unannounced project they have. Let's wait till they put out the next game before we say what they are or what they aren't. You know what I mean? Just a crazy thought. Since we're on crazy thoughts tonight, Zach, just a crazy thought. Just let's put the money where the mouth is first, and let's wait and see. I know where you like to be all reactive and whatnot, but I would like to pose this to you. Why do you think Obsidian is the one being attacked here. And I'm sure he may have been the only one with like the most interesting quote and the loudest quote about this. Maybe other studios just chose not to respond to the hate. But why do you think Obsidian is the one being attacked and not like Bethesda software, Bethesda proper, or ZeniMax or id or whomever?
I think one is probably this dude's personality. Adler's
Probably.
personality is some of that. Um, also, it's Obsidian did put out 3 games last year, and
Yeah.
they kind of carried the the releases for Xbox throughout
Yeah.
2025, and now they're losing people that potentially have been working there multiple years, maybe even decades at
Hmm.
this point, and that has to sting, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you also can look at what the games they put out last year, they were not Obsidian's best,
No.
okay? And you could
Especially
say,
I would say like yes, people can point to whichever one, but I would say Outer Worlds 2 because of how popular Outer Worlds 1 was, and Outer Worlds 2 was definitely a letdown. Now, was there also controversy about the price and then backtracking? Yes, but I think at the end of the day, the product has to speak for itself, and it did not live up to what Outer Worlds 1 built.
1,000%. And I think that is having these big expectations being let down is what
Hmm.
people are coming after. But how many people are just trying to get a headline? How many people
Yeah.
are just trying to get a short on YouTube, TikTok of
Yep.
Obsidian's never going to be the same? You know what I mean? Like the hooks and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're the rumors about my death are
Greatly exaggerated.
yeah, greatly exaggerated. And you know, when you see a lot of these people that you've spent time with and have gotten to know them, maybe even know their family and their situations, and they're being
Hmm.
let go, and then you see these people that are not there in the trenches, not there when things have been good and been bad, and they're like, you know, try giving insight and all of this. It's like you just read a memo from Asha Sharma, and hey, we do this each and every week as well. But it's like we tried to humanize. I think that's one thing that I love about our show is that we try to
Yeah.
humanize this as much as we possibly can on
Hmm.
both sides of decisions.
Correct.
Um, so it's like I don't hold Adler like I think that this is very fair to say, and yeah, you don't know who made what and what kind of, you know, pedigree we still have at the studio,
Hmm.
you know, and it's like, you know, you said we won't be able to judge until they put another game out, and it's like, I agree, but who's going to wait that long to, you know, make a YouTube short, Derek? We got to get it out
Yeah,
now.
right. It's like we got to be reactive, not proactive. You know what I mean? So we
Hmm.
got to get those instant likes. We got to be the headline right away. Get our 15 seconds, not even 15 minutes, 15 seconds of fame. Because that's people's attention span nowadays. Anyway, now the one point I will give to the mouth breathers was the term I was looking for a minute ago. The mouth breathers will be if you're solely based off of like what you said a minute ago, the fact that they put out 3 games and they were all kind of B tier, like mid tier games, and you're saying Obsidian, like, take out the layoffs just for a minute. If you're saying that Obsidian is not the same as it once was, okay, maybe because they I won't say rushed 3 games, but they chose to bring out 3 games in the same year, then yes, I could say that because they chose quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Now, and obviously, I can't speak on Grounded. Never played Grounded, but having a little bit in Outer Worlds and then one at least, not two, and then playing Avowed for as long as I did, you can make a case. It's like, okay, they probably strongly believed in these two, and I know Grounded was a new project for them, and Grounded 2 being early access, they wanted to continue that momentum that Grounded 1 did. However, when you have just because you put out 3 games, if none of them are home runs, if they're just doubles, it doesn't matter. And again, can and they and them Obsidian and Asha Sharma have both said we need to maybe not do that and maybe not rush out projects and have a studio put out multiple games, like maybe we should make them focus on the quality rather than the quantity, which is what it always should be, especially in the gaming sphere. Um, but again, if that's the point they're going with, one they explain that badly, but they would have a point. But if they're going off of based off just the layoffs, I'm like, no, this is not the fight you need to be choosing to have.
Yeah, it's like, whose side are you on? Are you on the side of, you know, that this sucks and we
Yeah.
want to see Obsidian succeed, or are you just trying to get clicks? Are you just trying to, ruffle someone's dander and everything? And
It's always the latter with the mouth breathers. Let's just be honest.
yeah, 1,000%. And I'm excited for Obsidian. I can't wait for their next
Yes.
games. They're always ingenious, and if they are going back to the Fallout universe, I think it'll be one of the strongest entries that we've had since, I think 3 in New Vegas are still the gold standards
Oh, yeah.
of what a Fallout game can be.
100%.
So, Derek, we got an interesting one, and I was not expecting this at all.
If you had this on your bingo card, kudos to you. No one else probably did.
Because Asha Sharma is apparently a narc now. And I did not pull who wrote this one. It's over at Game Informer, and this is Marcus Stewart over at Game Informer.
So, the U.S. Federal Reserve has announced new task forces for advancing monetary policy. Led by Chairman Kevin Warsh, the list of advisors for each task force includes Xbox CEO Asha Sharma. The Federal Reserve's commitment to price stability and maximum employment is unwavering, as in our resolve to pursue our mandate with rigor, writes Chairman Kevin Warsh in a press release. The U.S. economy has changed significantly over the last generation and never more so than right now. Each task force will carefully consider whether policymakers' means and methods, analytical tools, and policy approaches can be improved upon. I am honored that the best minds from a range of disciplines have agreed to work with us to sharpen our performance as an institution. The goal is straightforward: to ensure the Fed is best positioned to achieve our objectives in this consequential time. The five task forces are communications, balance sheet policy, data, productivity, and jobs, and inflation frameworks. Each will be co-led by external advisors, quote, with deep expertise in their fields. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has been named as one of the 3 advisors for the Productivity and Jobs Task Force, which aims to, quote, assess the economic impact of new general purpose technologies, including artificial intelligence, to inform the Federal Reserve's policy judgments. Sharma was president of Microsoft's Core AI before becoming CEO of Xbox, which undoubtedly led to the role of providing expertise on the economic impact of AI. Notably, Sharma is also the only active CEO among the entire list of advisors, which largely includes professors and former business leaders / politicians. So I titled this Asha Sharma an irony because now, again, we talked about, the why last week ad nauseum about, hey, this was actually even though laying off 3,200 people, 1,600 people immediately at the time of the announcement sucks, like anytime. But when you look at the brass tacks, it made sense. Like, again, 64 cents for every dollar you spend, getting back 64 cents, 14 layers of management, and among other things, and like the poor management that was under Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. However, the irony of like her being the head of advisory to productivity and jobs is just, the script writes itself, Zach. And I mean, again, government aside, like it's very tongue-in-cheek, and it's almost like very poor timing. And again, you don't control when stuff gets announced, when articles break and whatnot. You can't help it. But if this had come out after Xbox's strong Summer Game Fest showcase, no one would bat an eye. They'd be like, okay, cool. They're focusing on creating more jobs, blah 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 blah. And then, but that's not the case. That's not the world we live in. This is coming out after all the layoffs and all the studio like spin-offs and all that kind of stuff. So now people are looking at it with a very negative light. Again, we defended Sharma's decision. However, we still call a spade here. And the fact is, even though we acknowledge her defense of the business, you still laid off 1,600 people, and then being over productivity and jobs is very comical.
Yeah, it's like you kind of wince at it. When I saw the headline, I was like, what the crap is going on right now?
Yeah.
It's like, this is like really crappy timing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, as you were saying, before or after the showcase and all of that, and I'm like, when would have been the best time to announce this? And if it was before all of this got announced, the layoffs and everything, if it was, right after she changed like Game Pass prices, everybody would have been like, oh, okay, that's awesome. But then when the layoffs would have happened, it would be like, well, how could you do this? You're on productivity and jobs.
Productivity, it wouldn't have been a win-win at all. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't.
No.
It wouldn't have been met with such vitriol as it probably has been now.
I don't know. I think this is me, trying to think like a CEO, of a major corporation. It's like, okay, yeah, I had to cut all these jobs or the company is going to go down.
Yeah.
And productivity in jobs, like, of course, are being over AI and all of this. I hope, she would be able to bring, I'm hoping, if I don't know Asha, if she walked into this room, I would know her because I have made thumbnails with her on them. You know what I mean? But that's really like, if, 6 months ago, we walked past each other, I would have never known the woman.
Correct.
What I'm trying to say is I'm hoping that she will be honest that AI's impact has been exaggerated to a great degree, and that we are seeing a lot of people pull back from AI because it is more expensive. It's less, the effectiveness of it is less than what has been, touted by the marketing arms of these different AI groups and everything. That's what I'm hoping.
We'll see. Michael brings up a good point. With all the new positions, quote, directly reporting to her, how is she going to find the time for this? Which is fair because, if she's head over one of these divisions for the for the Federal Reserve, it's a valid point because now she has, and I know she probably has people that will probably go do the minutia, do the reports, the analytics, and then come back to her. But it also raises the point: is Asha dipping her toe into too many ponds here? You know what I mean? Is she stretching herself too thin? Because yes, you had to get rid of the 14 layers of management that Phil and Sarah put into place at Xbox, and now everyone's reporting to you, and it's like, cool. So you're over productivity and jobs, but also managing a multi-billion-dollar company gaming division and trying to make sure that never doesn't go under, and you pretty much lose all those jobs. How is she gonna? Again, you're only you're as strong as what your team is, and if she has a great support team that is able to delegate, and she's able to delegate to make sure stuff gets done while she balances both sides of this, it's a good thing. But at the end of it still doesn't negate the fact that I think you're stretching yourself too thin. And again, maybe she committed to this Federal Reserve thing before she took on CEO at Xbox, or vice versa. Who knows? We may never know that, but it's still, I think, is like a head scratcher. It's like, why would you take on this responsibility while also managing a company?
Yeah, and her being the only active CEO within this role. Thankfully, she's not the only one, as she's one of the 3 top advisors for that section and everything, that task force. I think when the rubber meets the road, the thing that she's getting employed for is being Xbox's CEO. I don't know
They
if
signed
they're,
her check.
yeah, they signed her check. So I think, and she wants Xbox to be successful. You could see that.
Correct.
And like, she is making the hard choices. And I think
Hmm.
if, push comes to shove, she would step back from the federal position
Oh yeah.
that, because I don't even know if this is a paid position. This sounds like a mastermind kind of
Advisory.
deal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I doubt that this is like moving the needle on her, finances or anything like that. So,
Correct.
and it's like if you want to help jobs, you need to be making great games, and
Correct. To be able
be
to hire
impactful.
more people.
Yeah, exactly. So, kudos to her. I tongue in cheek put, narc,
Yeah.
on here, but, I hope that this will be, something good and not something negative. I feel like like it was so easy to defend Phil because he has such a magnanimous like personality type and
Oh yeah.
everything. Like I was looking up thumbnail like pictures of him today for something I was editing, and it's just like
Hmm.
he just looks all happy and all of this, and it's like it is kind of infectious. And I feel like when you start talking about Asha, it's so easy for people to like, oh well, she doesn't know gaming, and it's like,
Yeah. She was at AI. She was over AI.
yeah, and it's like, okay, yeah, she's not Phil, but Phil got us into this position. Let's be honest.
Correct.
And it's like,
Phil's the reason why we had to raise Game Pass to $30.
yeah, and when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, she might not love gaming as much as Phil did yet, but she is willing to make the hard choices so Xbox can survive. And I think
Yes.
that's something that a lot of people need to take into consideration, just like you should take into consideration right now, smacking that like button. Do it. Are you scared? Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe it. Just take a deep breath right now, let it out, and then click the button. Do it. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. You know what I'm talking about, Derek? You know that song?
Vaguely.
Goes on and on. Blow the whistle. You should look it up after this. Guys, if you haven't already,
Okay.
smack that like button down in the comments below. And let me know if you know the song Blow the Whistle down in the comments below. It just popped in my head. We're going to talk about Halo because we got one more and then we got a good. We got one
Yeah.
good tonight, y'all. We got one good. Put
We're
one
actually
good
talking
down.
about something that's a video game. Again, a crazy concept.
Yeah. Put one good down in the chat. I want to see that. Let's jump into this one. New Halo multiplayer project reportedly has been canceled, and this is by Cade Onder over at IGN.
So a brand new Halo multiplayer game has been scrapped, according to sources. The new game was codenamed Ecker and was being worked on by Certain Affinity, a studio that has done a lot of support work on previous Halo and Call of Duty titles. The game's origins began in a totally different project known as Tatanka, which was a battle royale-esque Halo game. However, that was scrapped in favor of Ecker, which was described as a, quote, super big team battle idea, pulling from Halo's history of large-scale multiplayer modes. Halo 5's Warzone mode was seen as a source of inspiration as well, and the team also toyed with an extraction mode. The project would have used the map that was built for Tatanka and was being developed in Unreal Engine, not unlike the upcoming Halo combat or campaign Evolved. It's unclear if the goal was to make a multiplayer Halo game that had a broader appeal after Infinite failed to capture a consistent audience, or if it would have been a premium title. Nevertheless, the project supposedly met its end after development troubles on Campaign Evolved, which pulled staff away from the multiplayer project. Whether this game ever sees the light of day is totally up in the air. It's possible it could be revived, especially as Microsoft is trying to inject some life into its biggest franchises right now. It doesn't seem like this was canned as a result of the recent Xbox reset, so hopefully it can find its way back. Now, Zach, I know the original concept was a battle royale-esque Halo game, which got scrapped, which I'm okay with because again, battle royale has come and gone. I know it's live service now, which battle royale, if you want to get down to the minutia of it, could technically be a live service game. Blah 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 blah. But live service is the negative buzzword, just like with AI right now. So it's like you want to kind of not be the next one. And I mean, Halo Infinite tried to be a live service game, and we, as the article talked about, that did not end well. It did not have a consistent audience. Now, that was also mainly because they took forever in 3 years to update their content roadmap. Because I know they were on, what was it, season 1 for flipping ever. I know you spoke your woes about it for the longest
Yeah.
time. But the question I want to get to is, would a multiplayer centric, regardless of what this game could have, would have been, and if it comes back in a different light down the road, because they do bring up a good point. They want to focus on major franchises and get what and slap whatever kind of Halo project on it, Gears of War project, Fallout project, whatever you want to get, whatever big franchise they consider right now. Would it have been the best interest to have a multiplayer centric Halo game? Because yes, split screen co-op, it made split screen co-op fun, like LAN parties at houses. Like it was the grandfather of evolving the first person shooter to where it is now. However, in this day and age, with everything being live service multiplayer in some aspect, would it have succeeded in this climate right now?
I feel like it would be hard to succeed in this climate just because you have things that already have people's attention and time. Yes, it would be hot for a minute just because Halo does still have some sort of drawing power.
Yeah.
You would have all the people that are streaming and all of that jump on it for, a week. I think the thing that really nails a Halo game, though, is having a campaign. It gives it replay value. It gives it something that even when the servers go off, you still have access to, you still have something to look back on and everything. And I think, I look at like Black Ops, I think it was 4, where they just went battle royale multiplayer and all of that.
Yeah.
And I know it still did well, but that was still on the side.
It was met with a lot of vitriol.
Yeah, it was like I know I didn't play it, but it was just one of those things is where it's like not many people were excited about it, and it's like not every campaign of Call of Duties has been great, but I still want to play a campaign if I pick up a game. And having so much lore that is out there for Halo, and I am excited about Campaign Evolved doing new levels, getting to see more of the world that we haven't seen in the games we've only experienced in the books. I think that is awesome. Maybe that will open up a window for us to experience things. Apparently this was also going to have playable Spartans and elites and full character customization. So where we're going to get to see a lot more of what we haven't had in a while, because elites haven't been playable. I think Halo 3 had elites still, but we haven't seen elites playable since 3, maybe. I'll verify that here in a minute and everything. And, Dan says, I cared more for the story of Halo than I did the multiplayer aspect. Yeah, and the reason why I went so hardcore on the multiplayer is just because it was the perfect time. It was like during COVID and everything. Nobody, everybody was home and all of that. So,
you wanted some type of human interaction, right?
Yeah. And I just absolutely I loved the gameplay of it, and it was like the perfect storm of that, but not having that support. And I think when you really get down to it, it's like you've got to be locked in to have a multiplayer only thing. And I haven't seen Microsoft actually do that on any of their games. They've never been locked in with their multiplayer. And
you kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's like, it's why they're bringing out Campaign Evolved, which is out in 12 days. And it's like they want to get back to what Halo was. Now, yes, they want to kind of hit the reset button, but I kind of want to being whether this project was canceled or just is fallen through for right now, and it'll be picked up later. Is will we we'll decide, we'll cross that road when we come to it. But do you think that the campaign evolved, if it's a success, this will be a litmus test for how they handle Halo going down the road? Because if it's a massive success, maybe they go to like Halo 2 campaign evolved, Halo 3 can't, kind of what Capcom's done with Resident Evil, remaking those games like on the Unreal Engine and whatnot, and maybe not going back to like that multiplayer project. Or if it doesn't, then they just kind of maybe they go back to whatever Halo ideas they have and just throw at the wall just to put Halo out there and see what audience they can get.
I could see us getting like Halo 2 and 3 and maybe Reach if campaign evolved, if the first one does well. I could see that happening. I think it's also less of a lift to create the campaign than having a multiplayer aspect of it. What you could do is have Halo 1, 2, and 3 Reach, and then you could have like a normal multiplayer like side of that.
The option C is also that they put out the campaign Halos to while they make the multiplayer Halos, because again, before it got put into a live service spin that didn't work, Last of Us Part 2, they said, oh hey, y'all enjoyed factions from 1, we're going to make sure factions for this, we're going to put out a factions mode for Last of Us Part 2, but we want to take our time. And then that's when it just kind of went all to the crapper because of Jim Ryan. But I digress. It's like they wanted to make sure they got the multiplayer right for the people who did enjoy it from Last of Us Part 1. So they could do this similar fashion with Halo. Put out the campaigns, like get that nostalgia factor from the stories that you loved to watch and play through and whatnot. And then we're going to give you that multiplayer competitive aspect for that audience as well.
Yeah, I could see that. And the only pushback that I have on that is like, you have that cultural zeitgeist moment when you release a game. When you half it up, it's hard to get that traction again. So there would have to be a smart marketing campaign around splitting it. But for me, I think the thing people want at this point in time, because you can still go play Infinite and you can go play. I do think that Infinite has one of the best like multiplayer sides of things. Like it's really good.
Fair.
I think, it's like if you want to play multiplayer, go play the latest Halo, like the Halo Infinite. If you're wanting to relive the story, Halo campaign evolved, and I think it's going to blow people's minds. Just from the little that I've seen about it and just the graphic fidelity and all the stuff that they've, really locked in with it. And then, if we get, next year or the year after we get Halo 2, man, I'd be stoked. Get Halo 3. Like Dan said, it would be nice to get Halo 3 with the same remaster treatment as Halo 2, because we never really got that. So it would be amazing to see that. And then it's like, okay, for Halo Reach, we're going to do the full thing, because a lot of people love the Halo Reach multiplayer side of things.
Yes.
I personally like Halo 3's multiplayer more than Reach, but that's just me. I felt like it was doing too much with the pickups and all of that, but I digress. Just give me the bubble shield. Derek, do you remember like throwing down the bubble shield? How good that freaking felt?
Yes. So it's like, oh, I'm about to get murked over here. Nope.
Spartan laser.
Oh God. Yeah, that was great. It took too long to charge up, but if you timed it just right, it was great.
It was great. And I think, it's like, this one got canceled, but it's like, that might be okay. I'd rather at this point, let's protect the IP and only put out things that matter. because I feel
Yes.
like we are at the point where we can either sink or we could raise, like, Halo is kind of like a boat that's had a hole in it. It was like a small hole, but it's slowly
Yeah.
gotten bigger over time. And it's like it's starting to sink, but it's like we've got a crane and we also have dynamite. It's like, which one do we want to go with? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like we gotta be careful with this. Spartan laser required skill to use.
Facts.
I think he's calling you out, Derek. I think he's calling you
I
out.
mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I wasn't great with the Spartan lasers. Just saying.
And apparently, I looked it up. You could play as elites in the multiplayer.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me make sure. Halo 3 multiplayer. Okay, no, you couldn't. Not multi. Stupid. PvP. I'm just checking. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure because I looked it up, but you could play it in the campaign. And I was like, the way that it's saying this is technically multiplayer, but it's not the multiplayer that I'm talking about. So I wanted to confirm for everybody before we move into our last topic of the show, and that is God of War Laufey release date possibly confirmed in the weirdest way possible, and that's by riding on Derek's back like a tramp stamp. And
what?
Yeah, that's how they did it. Corey Barlog came over and wrote it on Derek's back, and then, like a tramp stamp, took a picture of it and put it on Twitter. And this is by Michael Kripe over at IGN.
He had to fill in that time to go see who wrote the article. Santa Monica Studio has confirmed God of War Laufey will, quote, be available on disc, suggesting its launch will arrive in 2027. The PlayStation Studio announced the news with a post on its Twitter account when replying to its post revealing that it would show up to talk about God of War Laufey at San Diego Comic-Con. It told fans fearing an all-digital launch that they would have nothing to worry about. Quote, we can confirm God of War Laufey will be available on disc, Santa Monica said. So this was the weirdest way to confirm it, because obviously Sony's cutoff for making disc will be in January of 2028. So pretty much ringing the new year. I mean, we don't know exactly when. It's not going to be like January 1st at midnight in 1 second. You know what I mean? It's like after the ball drops, it's like celebrate, no discs. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that quick around, but pretty much ring in the new year with no discs. So this is the weirdest way to kind of confirm that. And even Sony said some third-party developers can still make discs, leading up to the cancellation. Cool. I mean, we'll get into the controversy that the controversial question that I have in my mind in a minute. Amy, you heard it here first, people. Derek has a tramp stamp. I mean, y'all will never know. Y'all will never know. You neither confirm nor deny it. So I don't. Anyway, before I get to the elephant in the room here, it makes
that was a horse.
that was a horse.
That was.
I mean, we are on the Sony segment. Just saying. This makes sense to me. Like, now, when in 2027? We'll find. Well, that's a later problem. I mean, by the way, if we get God of War Laufey in 2027, like video game wise and anime wise, 2027 is going to be a fantastic year. Side note. But with how long of a demo we saw, like we got the announcement at their State of Play leading up to Summer Game Fest, and it was a 20-minute gameplay demo. Like normally a lot when they announce their new game, like a new game, we don't see an extensive gameplay, but it was very far along to where it makes sense to, like, you don't show a 20-minute gameplay demo on your announcement if you're not ready to launch within the next calendar year, right? So it makes sense that it will be a 2027 release. Now, the controversy, well, before I get to the elephant in the room, Zach, what is your just initial reaction to that, it being possibly next year?
I'm excited. I want it now. Like this makes
Yeah.
me really, really ready for this game. And like you said, we saw a good chunk, and I know that they talked about that we're going to see more of it soon.
Yep.
Let's go. I like give it to me. I'm up at the I've got the bib on. I'm ready for the hot dog eating contest. Let's go, baby.
Your name's Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, exactly. And all the people that freaking complain and, oh, you're gonna play as a woman. Go away. This game is
Yeah.
not for you. You do not deserve
breathers.
to play this game. Go play with a stick outside. Like, go away from me. Like, you
Go play it. Go kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
Yeah. I'm so stoked, and I know Deborah Ann Wolf, I think this is her name.
Wool.
There we go. She's gonna do an amazing job. I'm ready for this. And I'm ready for my mind to be just freaking blown with the timeline, like crossing and all the stuff that Corey Barlog's just been stewing up, and he's just been like,
he's gonna have some weird stuff that will just make perfect sense for what is going on in that game.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing, Derek. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So,
I mean, you have a companion cube, for goodness sake. Like, just...
Yeah. Yeah, you do. And it's, I almost said Jack Trenton. What is that dude?
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. And the behind the scenes, the cube thing that he's wearing, freaking hilarious, Derek. Freaking hilarious.
But the question I want to pose, Zach, and the elephant in the room, and I'm not saying... And the thing that people may not think of, because, again, you hear this initial reaction, you're like, oh, fantastic, it makes sense, I'm ready for it, give it to me, blah, 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 blah. But we see, especially even with huge AAA games like GTA, stuff gets delayed. What if it's early next year and gets delayed till fall? Cool, no issue. But what if it's like summer, fall, 2027, gets delayed to early 2028? Now, the social media person might have just had to go into a conference room and have a talking to behind the shed about this, because Santa Monica may have told him to sign off on this. We don't know if Sony told him to sign off on this. You assume, and it hasn't been taken down to my knowledge, but the article says Santa Monica. What if Sony didn't want this to get out? Because it's like, because then now they're going to be calling Santa Monica and it's like, can you commit to this? And will it be a great game? Because just because you commit to it being 2027 doesn't mean it's going to be a fantastic game all the time, because stuff gets rushed, as we see time and time again.
True.
However, if it gets delayed into 2028, who's going to blink first? Because Santa Monica came out and said that it's going to be disc. Sony said January 2028, we are done making discs. So if it gets delayed till, let's just say it's supposed to be, it gets announced initially for what Ragnarok did, a November 2027 release, and then comes at like July, August, they're like, guys, we need more time. We're going to launch March, April of 2028. Then Sony's like, dog, so what we going to do here? We just said we're going to be done printing discs, and we're reallocating those people that do disc production. And you confirmed that it's going to be a disc game. Someone's going to have to break a promise here. And I mean, at the end of the day, we are speaking more for the people who still are physical collectors, because we both go digital with our games. Whether it's delayed into 2028 or comes out in 2027, regardless, we're going to buy it digital. However, the controversy is who is going to blink first. And it may not even be that big of a deal, but it is something that has to be said, because someone's going to have to go back on their word. And the internet will run wild with it.
True. I feel like it's not like how, I think it was not God of War. It was Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that point too, where that whole thing of like, oh, PS4 games will get a free upgrade to PS5, and then when Forbidden West got a release date, they're like, all right, we're going to charge you, and everyone's like, actually, and they brought receipts. They said articles saying it was going to be free, blah blah blah, and then Sony had to backtrack, and it's like, okay, We'll meet you in the middle. We will do this for Forbidden West, but from here on out, you want to upgrade the PS4 version to the PS5 version. It's going to cost you $10, but it's going to cost you. And I feel like that's probably going to be the route they go if it gets delayed to 2020. It's like, all right, because Santa Monica tied our hands and jumped the shark and said there will be a disc game. This will be the last disc we make. After this, no more disc games.
I could see that. I could see that. I feel like it's going to be the opposite way. I feel like they would break and say,
fair.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, yeah, we're shutting down. And because, we're shutting down the physical side of things, we're not going to be able to do disc anymore. And
that's true.
It's not on Sony Santa Monica's side. It's PlayStation. So PlayStation gets to be the bad guy. Sony Santa Monica gets kind of come out on kind of cleaner on that. It's like, yeah, you wanted this, but we're not going to be able to do that. I hope and pray that we do get it as a physical game, but
also,
I don't know.
GTA opened the door to make it to where it's like, oh, we'll give you a physical box, but we'll just put a code in the game too. You know what I mean? I could see Sony meeting them halfway if it does get delayed to 2028. But that's all speculation on if they even delay it.
True. And it's like, how many discs are they printing? You know what I mean? I'm sure they can look at the numbers and see, okay, we normally sell this many, we actually turn a profit on this. So we're going to bump it to, let's say 20,000 disc. They do a limited run of it or something like that. Or, because you think about like limited run games, they,
valid point.
They do disc and all of that. And it's like, if Sony, I feel like Sony would be a little bit more, for such a big franchise that's given them so much money, I feel like they have a little bit more play.
Especially 2018 being Game of the Year. You know what I mean? For a franchise that has been revived and it pretty much is, you can argue it's a flagship franchise of the show, like the crown jewel now of a studio. So it's like, you could go either way. We'll make this one exception, or, what'll be telling is if within the next few weeks, Sony's comes out, makes a statement, like, look, we know Santa Monica authorized this, but they did not check with us. We cannot confirm nor deny that God of War Laufey will be a disc when it releases. But if it releases before the cutoff date, there's a stronger chance of it being a disc game. But, try to cover their butts, but also say, hey, look. And if that's the case, then maybe they're covering their butts because it'll be maybe Corey Barlog's told them behind closed doors, like, look, we're looking for the end of 2027 to launch this. And so Sony has to come out and cover their butts. But again, Sony may not even do that. We're talking about a lot of speculation here.
Yeah. For them to tweet out, dealing with a company that is one of our clients at work, they're a large, they're a large, billion-dollar client. They've got huge stuff in the US, but they're huge in France as well. And anything that goes out has to go through so many people's hands.
14 layers of management,
dude. It's ridiculous. And lawyers, and then to put it into French, you have to do all of this other stuff, and then it's got to be reapproved if it's in French and everything. So it's like, for this kind of tweet, and I know people have gotten hold of stuff and tweeted out stuff and all of that. I feel like Sony Santa Monica has their crap together. So I don't know. I'm just taking this with a grain of salt. It's like, I'm looking forward to this in 2027. I'm glad it's on disc, and I'm gonna take the W, Derek, because we've been kicked. We've been kicked like an ugly dog.
We have to have something positive, right? But I'll say it's the weirdest way possible. Is what a way to confirm 2027 games. When more companies come out and say, oh yeah, this X game will be on disc, this game will be on disc. I'm like, cool. So it's all coming out in 2027. Cool.
yeah, exactly. It's like, All right, Corey. As long as I get it in my hand, that's all that matters to me. That's
Right.
all that
As,
matters
as
to
I
me.
say, as long as I'm playing it, it doesn't matter.
God, it's gonna be so good, Derek. Like just
I
seeing the
know.
little bit of combat, like I'm just like, I need it. Like it just
Goes back to my statement I texted you when it unveiled. I need it like I need air.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, Derek, it's time for the Patreon quick hits. We're so glad that everybody's been here. If you want to support us, which you should want to support us. Okay. And that's either with likes and subscribes here or going over to patreon.com/nerdcave and picking a tier that best fits you. That might be the free tier. That might be the $3 billion tier that we have set up there.
Woo! If you
know,
subscribe to that, I will literally come into your house and do the truffle shuffle.
Elon, I know you're watching us. I'll take your evil type, whatever. Anyway, we're not going to go on that.
No,
that
he'll
hill.
just pay you with a what's that thing? The Cybertruck.
Dude, I take it. I freaking take a Cybertruck.
I know you
love.
would.
I love Cybertrucks. If you love Cybertrucks, put a 5 down in chat. I think they're freaking cool looking. Everybody hates on them, but I'm just like, this looks like the freaking Warthog from Halo 1 Campaign Evolved.
They're ugly.
Amy saying they're ugly.
Thank you, Amy.
They look
See,
like
we're
the
on right side
Warthog.
of history.
I don't care, dude. I drive one all day. I drive one all day. I drive it all day. I drive it at night too. They just look generic to me, and that's fine. That's fine. You can have your opinions. They're wrong, but you can have your opinions.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, we're choosing violence right now.
I'm choosing truth. The truth will set you free. That's what the good book says. The good book says that.
I think you need to crack it open for a few more chapters, my guy.
The truth shall set you free. Exactly. Got to mount on machine gun arms. I'm thinking long term. When everything goes to crap and we're Mad Maxing out here, perfect truck for that. Perfect truck for that.
Yeah, good luck finding a charger for it in the wastelands.
Solar panels, my dude. Solar panels. Think about that, Derek. Think about that when you run out of gas, but my Cybertruck just cybering it up. Cybering it up. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Driving my Cybertruck.
Bold of you to assume you'll be able to know how to rig it to be solar powered.
I know things. I'll look it up. Fix It Man 78. Fix It Man 78. Look up at the YouTube channel. Fix It Man 78. He'll teach you everything that you need to know. But go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and get your very own Nerd Cave membership. You can have this 1.5 person business. One person, they want a Cybertruck. The other half doesn't know his butt from a hole in the ground. And that's okay. We love him.
Okay, I was gonna
We
say.
love him. We love him. We love him. We love him. But y'all should go over there and support us because you keep the lights and mics on. We appreciate everybody jumping over there and supporting us. Free tier, paid tier, it all helps us out. So thank y'all so much for that. Dan says, I still love the sound of a good combustion engine. Did you know, Derek, that on these like electric cars, like they have like some Dodge car has like it's electric or whatever. It's like a muscle car, but they like put like speakers to make it sound like it's like got an engine and all of this. And it's like, no, dog.
What are we doing here? We
No,
piping
dog.
in crowd noise at football games and WWE arenas now? Like, come on, guys. We can do better.
I remember this. We're going back real quick. I remember.
Back in my day.
I remember at Troy when we would do like it was like a Thursday night game or whatever. We would be on ESPN, and I just remember them trying to mic the band, and Mr. Ford was like, "You don't want to do that. You don't want to. You don't want to mic us.
That's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea." And I just remember like us cranking up and like the sound engineers are like ripping down mics and just like all of this. Good times, good times.
We warned you.
We warned, we warned you. We warned you, but Pepperidge Farms remembers. And you know what? Pepperidge Farm does. They support the Patreon quick hits just like you do. So Derek, take it away. The Patreon quick hits.
Starting off, Vertigo Games' Amsterdam division was working on a Tomb Raider VR game prior to closing. Games confirms Project Awakening is still in development 10 years after its reveal. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has already earned the series' biggest player peak on Steam. Following that, Resynced has sold 2 million copies worldwide. Dragon Age X lead writer says series return is unlikely. Laid off Mind's Eye devs plan to protest outside company office over all expense paid playtest day, which that's wild in and of itself. Sony settles lawsuit with fired Marathon game director who sued PlayStation and Bungie for more than $200 million, and they will add his name to the credits. ZeniMax Online Studio has been hit with over 200 layoffs, as I spoke about earlier. EA Sports College Football 27 faces backlash as players fight XP microtransactions with negative reviews, and that has since been, EA has come out and changed that. Whether that's going to be reinstituted down the line in later games, we'll see, but at least they've changed that for now. Stardew Valley is getting an official crochet book with 45 adorable projects. New Doom game reportedly in the works, and its software will not be turned into a support studio, they claim. Rumor, Avowed 2 could still happen as a small team as Obsidian continues to work on the project. And while I'm not the biggest Avowed 2 person, I do like the bones and the structure that they did in Avowed 1. So I would be down for an Avowed 2 to see how they would just build on that world and the characters and whatnot. However, I feel like that will be they will have that in the works if Microsoft greenlights it, because right now Microsoft is focused on big projects like the core franchises. But if they, like how one of the EA bosses said, Unravel existed at the time because FIFA makes so much money. So hopefully if they start turning a profit and being a respectable company again, like profit-wise at Xbox, maybe they can fund an Avowed 2 or like other smaller B-tier titles. Only time will tell. Sean Layden says narrative-driven single-player games are here to stay. Octopath Traveler 0 free update due later this year with new monster, arena foe, and town resident. The first 2 Octopath Traveler games are coming to Switch 2 on October 1st, but there's no upgrade path or save data transfer. Agent 64, a retro-inspired love letter to GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, will launch on August 11th. Xbox players demand an end to layoffs and studio closures on Microsoft's own fan feedback website. Former Xbox game studio Compulsion Games says that it's open to collabs. University gives students up to $15,000 in scholarships for rare gaming achievements. I would go back to school for that, depending on what the achievements were. Halo Campaign Evolved has gone gold ahead of its July 28th release. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen expansion will offer over 25 hours of content. Cartoon first-person shooter Mouse P.I. for Hire reaches 1 million copies being sold. 11-Bit Studios confirms it's reducing its workforce with 20 employees losing their jobs. Ubisoft Barcelona workers strike for 3 days against planned layoffs following Black Flag Resynced launch. Following that, Black Flag Resynced controversial Day 1 DLC has earned $1 million just on Steam alone, and it makes you question, if they earned already $1 million, why did they lay off these people? Answer, corporate greed. Capcom reportedly investing in lengthy story DLC for Resident Evil Requiem and future games. Dying Light the Beast will no longer be coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Dead Space creator Glenn Schofield announces retirement for the gaming industry. Far Cry TV series casts Steve Buscemi in mystery role. Capcom gives Monster Hunter Wilds a permanent price reduction as new DLC bundles announced. Steam's record-setting $11 billion with a B profit in first half of 2026 was funded mostly by older games. PlayStation Flex Strike Fight Stick delayed due to unexpected production issues. David Beckham announces he's joining Fortnite. analyst says Rockstar should charge $200 for GTA 6 as it'll be the last great game before everything is built using AI. I get the sentiment he's trying to build, but no, they don't need to charge. They will charge in shark cash. They will get all that money back. They don't need to charge $200 for the game. Riot has unveiled League of Legends Classic, but don't expect a one-to-one recreation of the old times. Switch to OLED model reportedly considered, though Nintendo is concerned how much it'll cost. Resident Evil 1 remake reportedly entered early production nearly a year ago. Battlefield 6 unveils naval gameplay trailer ahead of Season 4 launch on July 21st. Tides of Annihilation confirmed to be playable at Gamescom. You might be able to play From Software's The Duskbloods during a network test next month. Dispatch will finally make its way to Xbox on July 29th. Matt Damon's character from the new Odyssey movie will be a skin in Fortnite. And lastly, Microsoft pulls Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 from July Game Pass lineup without explanation.
Why do you think they pulled it, Derek?
Well, I mean, it's under Activision Blizzard, so they're probably I think it's not just going to be Call of Duty. I think it might be slowly pulling all Activision Blizzard games because of, again, how much they spent acquiring that studio. But again, it's probably going to be something else. It probably has something else to do. I think it has a lot to do with the acquisition that they spent way too much money on. But I digress. We'll see if they start pulling other Activision Blizzard titles from Game Pass. That will be determined. But it's supposed to be part of the July lineup. Maybe something fell through. Maybe the people that created Tony Hawk's 1+2 Pro Skater were like, you know what? We want to make money. We want to make sure you don't close our studio or you lay off a ton of people at our studio. We want to make money. Take it off Game Pass.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if it's like music rights or what, because I know that is kind of
also true.
You know?
Yeah.
Dan says, "Oh my goodness, do these people realize how disconnected they sound?" Talking about like all of these CEOs and everything. Thoughts on that, Derek?
I mean, yeah. Do they realize how disconnected they sound? Do they care? No. All they speak in is money, and if you ain't talking their language, they don't care what you have to say. They're like, okay, that was a nice opinion. What else? What's our spreadsheet look like? That's it. And even the people who act like they're connected are doing it just to reach out to the fans and make sure that they don't lose money. Let's be honest. There's a lot of ones that just do it for gimmicks. There are some genuine people who do it, because they care. But a majority of them just do it for a quick like, especially people who just don a simple like sports cap or whatever and just like pose for a very cheesy picture or whatnot. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. People going to be idiots.
Nothing truer has been said on this podcast than that, Derek. Y'all let us know what you thought about tonight's episode. I'm working on something real quick to show everybody before we roll tonight and everything. We got an awesome week of content coming for y'all, which is Tuesday. We're going to be playing some Vigima games. When does Halo Campaign Evolve come out? It's like the 27th or something?
July 28th. It's a Tuesday.
A Tuesday? Tuesday?
It's also the same day Infinity Castle 1 drops on Crunchyroll.
You're finally going to get to watch Infinity Castle, Derek.
Yeah. Still need to watch the Reze movie.
Are you going to watch it day one?
Depends on where I'm at, because I just finally started my winter lineup for this year. So it depends on how far along I am with that. But we'll see. We'll see. I will watch it. I just don't know if I'll watch it the day it drops.
Come on, Derek. You got to do it. Day one. Nate says, "Me too. I'm ready to watch Infinity Castle." I will tell y'all, You're gonna be excited.
Yeah.
You're gonna be excited. I loved Infinity Castle. Um, Amy and I watched it again. Um, with Amy, and it's just so good, y'all. It's so freaking
Yeah.
good. Like y'all are just gonna, you're gonna just
Which
eat
I
it
know
up,
the part 2 is going to be even crazier.
dude. I hate that we're gonna be waiting forever to get part 2, but
I know. Well, it's if the rumor was true from last year when they talked about the 3-part release window, is part 2 is going to release next year in 2027. So, and then part 3 is going to be 2029. So we'll have all of it on Crunchyroll by 2030. If they follow this window of like, all right, we're going to put it in theaters, and then the next year we'll put it on Crunchyroll. If they follow that same formula.
Yeah, they need to speed that up. Because it I understand that they put it back out and everything in theaters, but it needs to, yeah. Dan says me and Alex watched in theaters and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. I went by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Derek needs to come down and now, Derek, I texted Corey Barlog. Barlog. And I had to confirm.
You're very bold lately, Derek.
I had to confirm with him that their original announcement was actually a tramp stamp. Okay.
Oh my God! You got my hopes up because you've been telling me off air who you've been actually emailing and whatnot. I really thought you reached out to Corey Barlog because like this is the year of Zach just shooting his shots.
Hey, I'll tell you after the stream. I shot my shot again today. But Derek, Corey Barlog texted me a picture that both of y'all, you actually got to meet him. I don't know what happened to you, but you actually got to meet him, and he was giving you this tramp
in the world? Dog.
God of War Laufey on disc. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You don't
not me, by the way, guys.
You don't look too happy to see Corey Barlog.
What in the world?
Derek. I'm just saying, like, I would be
Amy cackling in the background.
So, Derek, I don't know what's wrong with you. This is the reason for AI, y'all. But I thought you would be way more excited meeting, one of the greatest video game developers of all time. But look at your face, and right now I'm just like, how did you forget about this, Derek?
Because it never happened, Zach.
I don't know, Derek. I don't know. You should see some of
the everybody.
Build more data centers, Derek. You should see. You should see some of the. Do you want to see the other ones that I made?
Off camera. Off
camera. Okay, I'll show it off camera. It is they're hilarious because I took your picture of you meeting J. Michael Tatum and you're doing like this thing or
pose,
whatever. Yeah. And I was like, okay, and I'll show you. It is hilarious. He was so traumatized that he repressed the memory. Apparently so.
Oh my God. Dan, don't help him.
Apparently
Dan,
so.
Do not help him.
Incredible. Thank you. Derek, you met my hero. You know what I mean? You met my hero.
We didn't meet Christopher Sabat.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That is our episode of the Nerd Cave. If you want your very own tramp stamp by Corey Barlog, you just hit him up. Like I saw how good your work is, and it's quite impressive. Are you going to get like a full, like once the game comes out, are you going to get like your whole back tattooed with Laufey?
Just look like Balder.
Yeah.
Or just from God of War 2018. Why not, right? Just go full all out.
Yeah, you look like a Yakuza. Well, there you have it, everybody. That's what I was padding time for. I was just like, all right, I need this to work. Amy says, Derek, bringing back the tramp stamp. Yeah. Got to bring it back. Got to bring it back. Derek, if you were a betting man.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore. I once was, but not anymore.
I almost want to make a bet with you that, but you won't take it, that whoever wins or whoever loses has to get a tramp stamp with the actual release date of God of War Laufey. If it gets pushed or stays.
Nah, dog. Nah. I will get a press on tattoo that we used to have back in the day. Not a real one. No, thank you.
Would you get a press on tramp stamp of God of War Laufey's date?
I mean, no, but it just sounds good.
What if I bought it for you? And like, if that was the bet, it's like whoever lost had to put the tramp stamp on.
Give me time. Revisit this when we get closer.
That is such a corporate bullcrap answer. Oh, we'll circle back on this. Let's synergize later on this.
We're just going with the status quo of what the show has been for the last 4 weeks, sir. Just saying. Do it for the views. Do it for the gram, Derek. See. Do it for the Vine.
Well, there you have it, everybody. We're going to table that discussion till later, but Derek thinks I'm going to give up. I'm not going to give up.
He's not.
Please do a tramp stamp bet. We could get a custom temporary tattoo. I'm just saying, Derek. I'm just saying. You win, I get a tramp stamp with God of War Laufey and the date. I win, same thing.
Oh, so either way, you get a tramp stamp with the release date. Got it.
We both get a tramp stamp with the release date. I'm just saying, Derek, we could be cute together. We can
oh my God,
wear crop tops.
No. No.
Let our guts hang out.
You could tell my gut hangs out. You don't need to see a crop. I don't need to wear a crop top to see that.
Could go to a henna play. Yeah, henna tattoo. I want both of you to have to get them. See, everybody's on the same page, Derek. I think we'd be pretty cool. And then Corey Barlog would want to talk to us.
No, Corey Barlog would block us from social media. He's like, I don't want to get involved with these fools.
No, he's like, these are hardcore. I like these dudes. First one to get a review copy. Nerd Cave. Just saying.
If Corey Barlog did message you and was like, hey, I'll give you an early review copy if you did this, then I would definitely be down.
Well, Derek, what if I
told the stipulation? I should put that in the stipulation.
That's kind of hard for Corey Barlog. He's a very busy man, Derek.
How committed are you to this bit then, Zach? Come on now.
I'm committed, but like
10 toes down, full chest out.
You're trying to make this impossible. But hey,
Derek, everything starts as a dream. It's what you make of it. How determined are you to prove the point?
Whose dedication? Are you talking to me or him? Because I think...
Don't flip this on me, Amy. No. I know she's going to flip it on me.
Yeah. I agree. Where's Derek's dedication to the bit? To the stream? You know what I mean? Our loving and adoring viewers. Come on, Derek. Do it for the crew. All pirates got to get tattoos.
About saying One Piece they do is to be show that what crew they're representing.
Exactly. We love God of War, Derek.
Mm-hmm. I'm not part of a crew. I'm a lone wolf. Oh!
You're no lone wolf. You're like a little puppy. All right, guys.
Oh my God.
There we go. That is our episode right there. I almost want to show the picture again, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, because the next time you see a tramp stamp on this show, it's Derek. He's going to really have a tramp stamp, okay? And I might have one too. And if I don't, that means Derek lost. That is it tonight. This has been Zach
And Derek.
Y'all have a blessed night. Bye-bye.